Hello, folks. So, just assessing this normalcy that the media is saying that we need in the future. We need to get back to normalcy. That's the social condition, and that's the priming for getting back to, the upper echelons, having the paedophilia, having the banking frauds, having all of this madness that everyone was elevating their consciousness to understand because it's so complex and it's kept out of the everyday, the average man on the streets psyche because he's kept busy working 60, 80 hours a week, whatever, to feed his little family because there's no promotion of big families. So he's got little time to understand these massive complexities. So during this COVID, many people have been, you know, they've done due diligence, lots of research, learned a ton. Yet the media are saying, oh, well, we need to return back to normalcy. Well, we were never in normalcy. We haven't been in normalcy since the end of World War Two. There's a documentary on Libya called Untold Chaos, where that's where I've got that concept from. They've said, it was the end of Europe as we knew it. So the return to normalcy is not the return to normalcy would be pre World War Two, wouldn't it? World War Two was a smash and grab that we're still living in. We're still being smashed and grabbed. And not just us, not just British folk, you know, Europeans, but Asians, Africans, the Americans all over America, Canada, South America, Central America, everywhere is just being smashed and grabbed by these chancer opportunists from the only place where they always stem from, the Epsteinites, the Max Mermelsteinites, the Dershowitsites, the, who's the other one? Weinsteinites, the Jannerites, the Israel Brodyites. There's an endless list of these things that need to be removed from the upper echelons, and the man on the street, the hero, the man who's built, the great contributions that he provides into the society, that the society thrives off and flourishes from. That's where the cream is robbed, that sweat equity. So this return to normalcy that people are being cajoled into asking for from the benevolent people who are behind the governments, the big shouts, the gates, the Biden now, like, I know he's in government, but he's not running the show, is he? Camilla Harris will be running the show, or his missus, or his Camilla Harris's husband, the big accountant from the same crew as the Epsteins. And who've they just made? Janet Yellen is now the um, Secretary of the US Treasury. Well, she was head of the Federal Reserve. Bill Gates's mum, who's a Jew, a Maxwell, like Ghislaine Maxwell, Robert Maxwell, these Maxwells, she, Mary Maxwell Gates, she was in the Federal Reserve too. So the Federal Reserve is what's bagging all of the wealth, but they don't return it in kind. They return it in debt, and you have to fund that debt that they're spending endless amounts. For example, money is not worth the paper it's written on. That's a bona fide fact. So now it's not even being written on paper. It hasn't been since credit cards were in, what, 1980s, was it? When the first American Express Visa card, these types of things. That wasn't money. Now it's electronic transfers. So it's not even worth the paper that it's not written on. Consider that fact. And that's not going to change. Inflation's still going to rise. Interest rates are still going to rise. It's all a big sham and a scam. You know, follow the Dershowitz, follow the Epstein case, follow the Jana case. Nothing gets done. Nothing ever gets done. There's loads of cases that just get kicked into the long grass and nothing ever gets done. Where are the military? Why aren't they dragging these people out by headlock and putting them in boxes where they belong, in cells where they belong, and have them tried for high treason? Because that's what's going on. Perfect example. The people who are running Israel now, they say that they have the rights to the land. Well, where's their king? Where's the Persian king from the Book of Esther? King removed. France, king removed. The emperor of the Holy Roman Empire removed. So all of the entitled have been disenfranchised, and we've been given excuses. The Romanovs killed in cold blood. It's just an endless cycle from these terrorists or tourists